And there it is. NBC News can project that former President Trump has now won the New Hampshire primary, defeating UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. Garrett Haake is at the watch party for former President Trump in New Hampshire. The former president, now 2 for 2. Nikki Haley saying this was not going to be a coronation, that she was going to stay in the race. But it's clear when it comes to Iowa voters, New Hampshire voters, the king right now is former President Trump. What are you hearing there in the Trump watch party, the victory party now, Garrett?
Yeah, Tom, just a minute ago, the Trump campaign changed these digital billboards behind us to say Trump wins New Hampshire. And a huge cheer went up from this party that had sort of all the makings of a victory party, but now is starting to get a little rowdy. Now, make no mistake, this was the expected result for the Trump campaign. They thought they would romp in New Hampshire, and we'll find out what the final margin is. But a victory in both Iowa and New Hampshire has usually been a golden ticket to the presidential nomination. And what you're seeing now is the Trump campaign already starting to pivot towards a general election. All of their messaging, including just moments ago a statement from the super PAC supporting Donald Trump, is arguing that every day more from this moment on that this primary continues is a day that Joe Biden gets an advantage he shouldn't have, and that the Republican Party needs to coalesce around Donald Trump. I expect to hear very much that same message from the candidate when he takes the stage here later tonight. And we're hearing it from an army of surrogates who are really trying to kind of close the door on this primary after just these 2 states voting. But again, another victory for Donald Trump in New Hampshire. It was the first state he won in 2016, launched him eventually towards the nomination in that year. The Trump campaign in 2024 is very much hoping this campaign now follows a similar trajectory. Tom?
Garrett, as we have a split screen here, we're looking at the Nikki Haley watch party as well in New Hampshire. Obviously, the feeling there, not as excited, a bit dour, if you will, if we can just judge from what we're seeing, the body language, a lot of people on their phones. Garrett, was there ever a moment tonight where it seemed like Team Trump was nervous, or did they think they had this the whole time?
Team Trump, no, Tom. I mean, the professionals in this campaign, the folks who run it, have done this kind of thing before. They were very confident in their numbers. They were very confident that ultimately core Republican voters were going to come home from their candidate. But the candidate himself, Donald Trump, as he always does, expresses himself on social media, made very clear that he was frustrated with the numbers he was clearly seeing earlier in this evening, talking about the number of Democrats, the number of independent or unaffiliated voters participating in this process. He won New Hampshire by 20 points in 2016, and I think less so the Trump campaign, but more so the Trump candidate expected to see a similar margin in this state. I don't know that that's going to end up being the case here. And so that frustration about the margin was palpable. That frustration at Chris Sununu, the New Hampshire governor, has been palpable throughout the week. But the Trump campaign, I think, never really sweated that this would be a win here. Just sort of how much of a rhetorical advantage would they get towards their argument that the primary needs to end now was sort of the one big question that they faced over the last 36 hours or so.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.